meeting. If I could, excuse me, if I could have everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mr. Bonagorio. And following that, well, if we can have a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, can I sorry move the agenda table, please? Moved by Mr. Stutzel, seconded by Vice President Farmer. Any additions, corrections, deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, all is in favor? That passes 8-0. 1.05, Arcadia Middle School student leaders. Come on down, welcome.
Hi, my name is Lucy Salter, and I'm an 8th grader at Arcadia Middle School.
Hi, my name is Eloise Ha, and I am also an 8th grader at Arcadia Middle School.
Hello, my name is Dominic Teta, and I'm also an 8th grader at Arcadia Middle School.
Hi, my name is Isabella Escobar, and I'm also an 8th grader at Arcadia Middle School.
Incoming 5th graders summer program. The summer program covered opening lockers, understanding and reading a class schedule, utilizing Chromebooks for middle school, getting and staying organized, developing friendships, engaging in fun hands-on activities, and participating in physical education every day. We were able to see 47% of our incoming 6th grade Titans at the summer program. We saw 53 more students than in 2023, which is 117% growth in attendance. 100% of the students said they were glad they came to the summer program, and all students also said that the summer program made them feel less nervous about coming to middle school.
Ooh, is this working? Okay. Our AVID update is that 8th grade AVID students are starting a Big Buddies program later this month with Patty Hill. AVID classes will go to Patty Hill once a month to work with the 1st graders. They create and run a 30-minute lesson with the kids each month. 8th graders also attended a college and career fair at the Blue Cross Arena where they were able to talk to over 40 colleges and career representatives. 7th grade AVID has been bonding as a family and learning the demands of being a 7th grader. Students have completed a scavenger hunt around the building, meeting new people and working on social skills in addition to learning digital skills to aid in their Chromebook work. Students are also learning more about themselves as learners and individuals so they can be the best versions of themselves in school and in the community.
National Junior Honor Society. 120 Titans met the criteria to be invited to join NJHS this fall. NJHS completes fundraisers throughout the year to benefit the Ronald McDonald House and the Arcadia Tree Gala, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and Golisano Children's Hospital. Currently, the NJHS is sponsoring a bottle and can drive to benefit these charities. NJHS will be going to Food Link to volunteer during the 2024 to 2025 school year.
Arcadia Middle School is excited to have updated cafeteria furniture with more choices for seating and more available technology in the space. Classes and groups will be able to use the cafe space for learning and collaborating. Happy School Board Appreciation Week. Thank you for everything you do for our schools.
If we can have you guys come up front here to do a picture with the board, and your 2 administrators, if they can come up as well. We'll do it right up front here. 3 administrators.
Miss Preston, you don't get out of that. Nice try. That was a really good try. Good. Yeah.
Moving on to 1.06, Board of Education recognition, Superintendent Groutman.
Yes, I'd just like to take a moment. For those of you who may not know and who haven't noticed the room that is decorated so beautifully here and the gifts on the table, this is School Board Recognition Week. So I'd like to just read a little bit just to honor and recognize our school board members. The New York State School Board Association recognizes October 14th through 18th as School Board Recognition Week. This is a time to promote awareness and understanding of the important work performed by our local school boards. Public schools form the bedrock for our communities and our country. Democracy thrives with educated citizens and people capable of critical thinking and civil discourse. It takes strong school boards to build a strong community. You as board members devote countless hours to making sure our schools are helping all children learn at higher levels. You make tough decisions every month and spend hours studying and educating yourself on issues and regulations in order to provide the kind of accountability our community and stakeholders expect. Some of the key work of our school board members are, number one, to develop a shared vision and goals for our district, to ensure that our teachers and staff have resources, the policy, and programs aligned with our district goals, to assess and provide accountability for student achievement, to support a healthy school district culture in which to work and learn, and to evaluate the superintendent, and much, much more. The members serving our district that we have here, and I'm just going to read their names because I want to make sure we recognize each of our school board members individually. Our President, Sean McCabe, Vice President Tracy Farmer, Board Member Terry Malore, Bill Maloney, Todd Butler, Mark Bonagorio, Megan Farah, Jordan Stenzel, and Mary Like. I will just say on behalf of Grace Central, I would share our sincere thanks and gratitude for all of your work on this School Board Recognition Week. Thank you so very much. We also have a short video. So some of our schools have created different things to put up that we want to make sure people have time to walk around at some point to look at. You'll also see gifts that schools have shared. We even got a cake from English Village in the other room. One of the schools actually created a video, so we'd like just to take a minute. It's a very short video to play that right now as well.
As students of Grace Arcadia High School, we would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude for all that you do to make our school and district a place where we can learn, grow, and thrive. Your leadership, vision, and dedication have a profound impact on our everyday experience, and we want you to know that your hard work does not go unnoticed.
We understand that the decisions you make are not always easy, and yet you consistently strive to ensure that our school provides us with the best possible education, opportunities, and support. From hiring exceptional teachers who inspire and guide us to making improvements to our facilities and ensuring that we have access to programs and technology and resources that help us succeed, your commitment to our education is something we deeply appreciate.
Your focus on creating a safe, inclusive, and welcoming environment where all students can thrive is particularly meaningful to us. We feel valued and supported knowing that you are working behind the scenes to make sure our school is a place where everyone can reach their potential, no matter their background or challenges.
On behalf of all of our students at Grace Arcadia, we want to say thank you for your continued efforts to prioritize our learning and well-being. Your leadership has a direct impact on our futures, and we are incredibly fortunate to have such a dedicated individuals guiding our district. We are proud to be part of a community that cares so much about its students.
Couldn't say it better.
Thank you, Superintendent Groutman. And thank you to all our schools for the recognition this week. It is much appreciated by myself and all my colleagues on the Board of Education. Moving on to staffing 2.01. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Malore, second by Mr. Stencil. Is there any comments, questions, or concerns on this? Seeing none, Mr. Stutzel, we'll start with you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm yes, that passes 8-0. Moving on to 2.02, the GASA MOA stipend. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I had a note too. I'm sorry, Gina.
That's
I'd like to
okay.
introduce Assistant Superintendent Larson. She would like to welcome somebody this evening.
Thank you. This evening, I am very pleased to welcome our new House Assistant Principal, Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah attended SUNY Brockport College for both his undergraduate and graduate degrees. He has been a teacher for 12 years, working in Newark, Fairport, and most recently, Canandaigua. Jeremiah's favorite part about working in schools is the connections he gets to make with people on a daily basis. Jeremiah is an alumni of Greece and is most looking forward to the sense of belonging and community that has always emanated throughout the district. Jeremiah lives in Pittsford with his wife Ashley and his 2 children, Owen and Jordan. Thank you for joining us. He enjoys spending time with his family, coaching his son's flag football team, and golfing when he's not at work. Jeremiah shared that he's very excited to be here and get things underway. Congratulations and welcome.
We'll have you do a picture with Dr. Zaffitz, Baker, Smalling, and Superintendent Krautman. We go in front.
Sorry. She walked over here.
All right, can I have somebody move the GASA MOA to the table, please? Moved by Vice President Moore, second by Mr. Stencil. Is there any comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Mr. Maloney.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. That passes 7-0. Moving on to GTA MOA's additional FTEs. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Ms. Moore, second by Mr. Maloney. Any comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Mr. Bonagorio.
Yes. Yes.
Me? Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to ask that passes 8-0. Moving on to individual agreement 2.04. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Bonagorio, second by Mr. Stetzel. Comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And yes, I'm a yes, that passes 8-0. Moving on to recruitment, hiring, and retention update. Superintendent Groutman.
I'm going to invite Gina Larson, and I know Jen Hendrickson is here, probably going to be helping as well, to talk to us about the extraordinary efforts that we are taking in terms of recruitment, retention, and hiring. So I'll turn it right over to you to get us started.
Wonderful, thank you. So I will say that Jen Hendrickson, who is here in the audience, is a mom of fall athletes. So I worked on the presentation with her, but gave her the night off in case there were sectionals or any other.
And she's still here.
Right, and she's still here anyway, so thank you very much, Jen. As you know, we have lots of focus areas in the Department of Human Resources. This is one of our key focus areas that is aligned to the strategic plan, and it's going to be the main focus of the Department of Human Resources. Tonight, unlike some of my other presentations, I wanted to share a little bit more about my department and how the team works daily to meet this focus area. So, the Department of Human Resources, this is just a sampling of what the department does. So our department is made up of only 16 people who manage the recruitment, hiring, onboarding, and benefits management for 3,200 employees and an additional 600 retirees. So it's a huge undertaking. I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by people who absolutely love the work and love people. So I always say that we work really hard to put the human back in human resources, because we know that sometimes it seems like a scary thing, but we work really hard not to make our department scary for anyone. So here's a sampling of some of the work that we do. We have 8 bargaining units that we work with, plus non-unit and exempt employees. We work on hiring, terminations, leaves of absence, certification, and tenure. We host labor management meetings, and we run negotiations. We have a whole benefits team within that group of 16. 6 of them are our benefits department, so only 6 people manage all of the benefits for all of these individuals. We do Board of Education reporting. That lovely staffing document that you get every meeting takes weeks to prepare, so it's a big part of our work. And then we work with both employees and supervisors on documentation. That's something that we spend a lot of time on. So in the past, I've shared some pretty daunting data from across the state and country regarding the current teacher shortage and the pending hiring crisis that's coming over the next 10 years. Human Resources is focused daily on these issues, and we're looking at multiple solutions to address the challenges. We look to engage creative and timely recruitment to get the candidates engaged with our system before getting scooped up somewhere else. Early intervention recruitment is a term that we coined, meaning that we want to find creative ways to engage potential employees as early as possible. As we know, student teachers and interns are the future of our profession, and when we get them into our school buildings, we don't ever want them to leave. So this is an example of a flyer for our welcome reception that occurred this year. We did welcome receptions last fall and spring as well, and we had a few people attend, but it wasn't really the oomph that we were looking for. So Jen worked really, really hard to engage all of our new interns, student teachers, and their cooperating teachers to get more people out to this event this year. So we invited all of these folks to the welcome reception so that we could start building relationships with them. It's an opportunity for the students to learn more about the district in hopes that they fall in love with it just like we have. So we are happy to say that this year's event was a huge success. It was, I will say, 10%, or excuse me, 100% more than what we've had in the past. It was busy, and we spent the entire time that we had allotted for it, and people stayed after to ask questions. It was absolutely buzzing, and we could not have been happier or more proud. Last spring, we had, I think, 47 or 48 student teachers. This year, we have 189. So we are definitely engaging our GTA staff to really bring people back into the profession and bring them to Greece to start their careers. So we're very excited about that. Last year, even though we had a very small number, we were able to hire 10 of those students as teachers in our system. So we're hoping with an increase in student teachers, we will have an increase in a candidate pool as well. So we're very excited about that. The images on this slide, some of them we shared last year as well. They're from different flyers that we've created to post in our buildings, to send out in parent newsletters, to post in businesses around town, in the Chamber of Commerce newsletter, and on social media. So we are trying to get out there as much as we possibly can. We know that people have a lot of options when it comes to looking for employment. So we are doing our best to make it as easy as possible for folks to come to us and ask questions about employment. We jump at the opportunity, at any opportunity we get to promote working in our school district. We're very fortunate to have many stakeholders within our organization attending career fairs and engaging and spreading the word throughout our community in a variety of different ways of working in Greece. And we have really found, as I say on the slide, we've really found that our in-person hiring events are the best bang for our buck. It's really what people want. They don't want to look at a computer screen. They don't want to just apply online. They want to see some humans. So those have been the most successful things for us. And speaking of, here's a little shameless plug. We do have a hiring event tomorrow, so please spread the word. We are still looking for special education support staff, so our aides and our TAs, those folks that work one-on-one and in our classrooms that are interested in working with students with special needs. So that event is tomorrow, right here in this room, and people can come, they can apply in person, and they can be screened for employment. So we're very excited. These types of events, like I've said, have been really successful in the past. So another area that we focus on, now moving into the hiring part, is our hiring and in processing. We continue to work very hard on on our efficient processes and our welcoming practices. We often have administrators outside of human resources that are attending hiring events, excuse me, and running hiring processes. As I've shared before, to have a chance to be truly effective in recruiting for a district of our size, this work is not just the work of human resources. So we continue to revisit our communication protocols to make sure that we're all on the same page. We've created several screening tools for our hiring events that are aligned with our strategic framework and the positions that we're interviewing for. This really helps us to ensure consistency regardless of who is conducting the screening. And like I've mentioned on previous slides and in the past, we have administrators screening, we have lead teachers screening, we have parents screening, so we have a lot of people in on this process so that they're part of the experience. So we really want to make sure that we're anchored in. And last, we've streamlined the in-processing process to a mostly digital process, which is really great. So once an employee has been hired, they come in for their in-processing. It used to be a one-on-one meeting that took about an hour. We needed to streamline that because we've got a lot of people that we want to get in. So it's mostly electronic now. However, they still do come in one-on-one because we still want that human touch. So they come in, the meeting is anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, but they get that touch and now they have somebody that they can reach out to if they struggle. This is just one example of some of our communication. This is a hiring timeline, one of many, many hiring timelines that we have. This one happens to be for GTA, which is our teachers, our counselors, our speech therapists, et cetera. So from beginning to end, it takes up to 2 months to hire for one position. This is something that unless you've really been through this process, you might not know that information, so we like to communicate out to our buildings and to our other hiring managers so that they're well aware that just because we posted a job today doesn't mean you're going to have somebody next week. There's a lot of things that we have to do along the way. So with a timeline like this, just to give you some perspective, we hired just about 70 GTA members over the summer. So if you take this and multiply it by that many, there's a lot of work going on. Another piece of our communication each year is regarding our staffing and hiring timeline. These 3 bullets is a very, very brief summary of about 110 steps that are taken each year to ensure that we meet our timelines for budget process, as well as getting our anticipated vacancies posted as early as possible. So there's a lot of work that my team does to put this together. We work very closely with finance and cabinet on that, and then also every other administrator in our system has a piece. So what's really great about it is that it's a back and forth communication so that we're really aware of what the needs are down to each classroom. In the area of staff retention, we want to make sure that we're keeping our valuable employees, the ones that we have, so that we continue to work on choice, voice, and growth. The work of reviewing and assessing our hiring practices is ongoing, as we always talk about. It's the first impression that folks have to our district. So we want to make sure that, from the time they see the posting online until they're in process, they have a good experience, because that's our first impression on them. The stay interview process is going really well and is now expanded to the non-instructional areas as well. So we're really excited about that. We also offer mentoring opportunities and career ladder opportunities to our employees who are interested in growing within the district. We're really trying to remove the stigma that once existed with having a mentor, and encouraging employees, even those that have been in their position for a really long time, to get a mentor to continue growing. In fact, this year we have 35 administrators who opted for mentoring or leadership coaching, even though they weren't required to. So we're really excited about that stat. Another big part of staff retention is keeping good labor management relationships and offering great contracts and benefits. Labor management meetings are monthly, with the goal being to solve problems, to clarify contract language, and to create MOAs. There's a lot of work and communication that goes on between labor management meetings as well, and none of this even includes our actual negotiations, which is a completely separate process. We've worked really hard to keep a positive and collaborative tone of labor relations so that it's not adversarial. We're working very hard every day to create a team atmosphere where we truly believe that working with the with each union rather than in opposition of them is in the best interest of the employees and of the district. So pictured here, these lovely pictures, these are our current contracts, and these 8 contracts represent close to 10,000 man-hours of work for our negotiation team. So we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that we're able to offer the best that we can offer to our employees. And last but not least, we focus on team building. We truly believe that the team that plays together stays together. Our team of 16 works incredibly hard all year round to support our current employees and to bring on new ones. So we try to balance that hard work with some team building and fun throughout the year. And as you can see, we even rope in our board liaison when we can. So,
I hate to interrupt, Gina, but what
Yes.
exactly was Mr. Maloney doing there?
the craft.
Excuse me. I was team building and I did crafts, and even though I flunked art in kindergarten, I got a C.
A+, that is front door worthy.
A+, excuse me.
A+, yes. Very, very good. So. That is all I
Questions?
have.
Ms. Millar?
Explain what you do with the 600 retirees, please.
Oh, so in many of our contracts, there are retiree benefits. So if you have been an employee of Greece and you retire under one of those contracts, you will continue on with some sort of benefit into retirement. So we have folks that have retired long, long ago that still get communication during open enrollment. They get monthly communication through billing and other things, and they also can use us as an advocate for them, you know, especially when they're going to the 65, into Medicare, if they have any questions, if they move out of state, et cetera. So it's really our benefits department that works very closely with our retirees.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to 4.02, shared decision-making, Superintendent Groutman.
Yes, I'm going to invite Christine Baker and Mark Fleming to come on up. I do want to provide just a little bit of context. This presentation is around our work with shared decision-making. And what I want to just point out is that shared decision-making, and I know this is going to come up in the presentation, but is such a foundational value around how we do everything in Greece. And I'll say when I came to Greece from another school district, and in my first 10 years of Greece, that wasn't the case. And the culture in this district was very, very different because it was almost, things were just directed and told. And I think what we realized very early on was that without voice and without stakeholder input and shared decisions, things don't really go well. There's not buy-in for that. And then I will also say that even though you recognize, and we've recognized that as a system, we also recognize that just to say we believe in shared decision-making doesn't work, and that there needs to be a lot of intentional work and effort put into that. So I share all that just to recognize the big lift and the amount of work that's gone into this, but also because I believe personally, and I know that I'm not alone, that I think this is one of the biggest levers we have in terms of making improvements in education. So I'll turn it over to you to share more of those details and sort of the work associated with that, but know how important I would just kind of open with that this work is.
Can you introduce the third person?
Oh, and Brian Everts is here too, our union president, which, by the way, who is a huge part of this work. So I know your name wasn't on the presentation, but I also know that you behind the scenes and through the years have been a huge part of this work. So thank you.
So as Kathy said, this is a huge part of our work. And so when we look at our strategic plan and our 3 main commitments, we know we have Ignite Learning, Cultivating Trust, and Expanding Opportunities. And as Kathy said, this is a huge part of cultivating trust as people have recognizing the values of different perspectives and a commitment to collaboration, as Kathy shared. So what that actually looks like is that we have developed shared decision-making committees that have multiple stakeholders, and it's a metric that we're actually measuring within our strategic plan document in terms of the number of shared committees that we have and the multiple variety of stakeholders that are comprised within each one. So previously, we noted that there were a lot of interpretations and applications of what shared decision-making was. We were not consistent as a district around what qualified for shared decision-making, who decides, and how decisions were even made. That led to a lack of clarity of systems and processes and an inconsistent approach altogether. So there was not a common understanding at all of what we even meant when we talked about it. It's so much so because we had a document that was from 1993, so we lovingly refer to this as the 1993 document because most people were unaware of its existence because it had been kind of put on a shelf for so long. But then we were able to find it, and there was a lot of good guidance that was living within the document, but it wasn't relevant in a lot of areas, specifically around our new priorities and around strategic plan, and some of the information was just outdated. So we took this information, we established a district improvement team, and this committee was charged with, one, living out the priorities of shared decision-making, making sure we had multiple stakeholder voice on the committee. We also reviewed the current shared decision-making protocols that were lived within the 1993 document, but also we interviewed and had surveys from various school improvement committees within each of the buildings. And then we researched and got guidance and structures from neighboring districts and from another organization that we'll talk about shortly. And that led us to a 2023 updated decision-making document. And so that had document that calibrated us as a district around decision-making continuum. So not all decisions are shared decisions. There's times for efficiency that someone does need to make a decision. And so we clarified what that continuum looks like and how to be transparent, at least, about, well, if this is a shared decision, let's call it that. And if it's not, let's also say that it's not, so that there's no confusion around when we're entering into a shared decision or not. We talked about ways to build consensus, and then we also provided guidance for each building's school improvement team's shared decision-making charters that basically says how they choose who the composition of those committees and how they make decisions within them.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank Christine and Mark for including me in this. I feel like it's a very important topic, and it's really revolutionized the work we've done over the last 10 plus years. So the question is really, how do we disseminate this kind of information out to buildings and make an impact in the building level? Because we clearly have this work operating at a high level with district level leadership. So that's one of our next goals. And one way that we're doing this is working with this group called TURN, Teacher Union Reform Network. I've been part of this group for about 15-ish years, excuse me. And even to the point where they've loved our work so much, they asked me to be part of their executive board for a period of time, which was really actually quite fulfilling and well, a lot of work, but it was really great. So I want to just read a couple of goals of TURN to you. Not really read them in terms of just sharing some of the main topics that we always talked about with the focus towards, establishing this in a district to benefit the district. So a couple things: improve student outcomes, enhance job satisfaction, increased efficiency, stronger relationships, better decision making. And that last one is what I really want to hit on. Like I said, we started engaging in some of this work close to about 15 years ago, but we really enhanced it since Superintendent Krautman came and built her leadership structure in a way to really enhance this. We work very well together. We talk about working situations that can benefit the whole community, not just the students, not just the staff, but also the greater community. I'll give you an example. I serve also as the at-large NYSET director for this region, New York State United Teachers, and in my capacity in that role, I've had numerous opportunities to talk to other presidents throughout the state. We're talking North Country, Long Island, everywhere, and still to this day, I still have not found a district that has an association with a non-for-profit 501c3. And we were able to get that done with the help of the district. And when I say that, we did the work, but the district has never gotten in the way or, been seen as an impediment. They've always helped us. So when we do Coats for Kids, huge help towards, for the district, but also President McCabe with the firefighters. New York State 529 College and Career Saving for Kids. We match the initial investment, and the district helped us publicize it, get it out to buildings, food drives, food pantries, I could go on, teacher grants, musical instrument drives. All those things are examples of different initiatives that we benefit not just the district, but the whole community, and the district has helped us every step of the way. So if there's not any benefit other than that, that's amazing. But there are many other benefits. And the last one I kind of wanted to hit on, if I'm not talking too long, is the fact that we know this work works well. We work issues, we don't work people. And we've done that at the district level for many years. Now we're trying to infuse that, if you will, down into the buildings. Last year, all of our shared decision making meetings with all the different constituents, from administrators to different reps at the building, we brought them in and we talked about this topic. So we're trying to infuse this work down into the buildings, and we're seeing that come around. But it's not an easy fix. It's not a fast thing. We are working on it, and it's just another example that we know the district leadership has our backs and we have theirs, and we know that ultimately this is going to benefit everybody, especially the greater community. Let's see. I think that's just about it. I think another data point, sorry, I could go on. Another data point too is that, around the county, around the state, when people find that we don't have grievances with our district, they're pretty blown away and shocked. And it's because of all the communication and very clear communication, thorough accessibility. Anybody in district leadership has my cell, I have theirs. We talk constantly. Kathy and Jeremy and crew have really focused different building leaders and district leaders just to reach out. It's not about asking for permission, not at all. It's about, hey, do you have any advice? Have you dealt with this before? Are we going to make a mistake? Are we going down the wrong path? And that's all it comes down to, is us with the district leadership communicating and trying to solve issues before they become issues. So thank you.
So that, excuse me, that extensive relationship that the district has and that the union has with Turn made them natural partners to really roll out this work. So the district improvement team, along with Turn, designed a professional learning series that took place last school year over the course of 4 full release days, in which we utilized that time to really roll out all of this work and to connect our buildings and our district teachers with this work. So we started in October, so just about a year ago, with really talking about the vision. We pulled together our building principals from all 18 school sites, along with our senior reps, and really dug into the reasons behind shared decision-making. We took a look at the research. We worked with our Turn representatives to really understand why this work was important and why it needed to be the way that we do business within our district. In January, we then pulled together our principals along with our building reps again and really started to dig into the shared decision-making plan document that Christine referred to earlier. So we wanted all of our building reps and our principals to really understand that language, to know our systems and to know our processes and how they'd be carried out in the buildings and throughout the district. We then met again in April, only this time we broadened the work. We asked each of our building principals to bring members of their school improvement team so they could get an understanding not only of this new guidance, but really start to talk about how would shared decision-making be carried out within their own buildings. So they had a full day to work with their principals, with their building reps, to really talk about what would the impact be on the school improvement team, on the school improvement planning process, and making decisions within their school site. And then finally, at the end of May, we pulled everyone together again, the principal, GTA rep from each building, and with members of the school improvement team to really start to form that building charter that Christine referred to earlier. What is the way in which we are going to carry out shared decision-making within our own building that's aligned to this new guidance that the district improvement team created? In August, we asked all of our building sites, all 18 of them, to turn in their updated shared decision-making charter. We then submitted those to the district improvement team, who reviewed each and every one to take a look at what that language was and to see how closely it aligned with the new document that we had created, submitted that feedback back to building so that they could make revisions. This year, we'll have an ongoing process in which we're reviewing the ways in which that document is being put into practice and how decisions are being made in our buildings. As Kathy mentioned, this is really foundational to the work that we're doing. And what we really described here is just really one aspect in the way that shared decision-making is facilitating the work that's going on at the school site and the ways in which it drives school improvement. But that notion of shared decision-making, that notion of collaboration, communication, trust building, and input from multiple stakeholders is really infused throughout all of the systems within our district. We've only really seen that grow over the course of the last 10 years. You heard what Brian mentioned, really under Kathy's leadership and all the hard work between the buildings and district office. We've really tried to make shared decision-making and shared stakeholder input a hallmark of what we do with our instructional committees and really all the committees that inform the work that we do throughout our system. This document and the work that we're doing really demonstrates that commitment to stakeholder input, that notion of coherent, clear, consistent procedures and guidelines for shared decision-making, and ultimately what we want to have is a system that promotes and cultivates input, voice, and innovation. Any questions?
I just want to add one last sort of punctuation at the end of that. The other piece that I would add is such a distinct difference in terms of ownership. And in terms of when we think about all the work that we're doing in all of our committees and school improvement and work, the idea of shared decision-making just increases that sense of ownership and care for the work. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I have seen and that we've worked on, but yet has taken a long time. So thank you.
Questions? Mr. McGrath?
Thank you. Shared decision-making doesn't mean that in the end, everybody's happy with the decisions that are made, right? So just give me a sense of what does it look like when you have a contentious issue and you want that buy-in to build, and I'm thinking an example might be our core. I know there's so what would that look like?
That's a great question. It's one of the first questions that we wrestled with too on the improvement team, that notion of, well, we're not going to be at a point where every decision we make is going to be something that pleases everybody, right? So we talked a lot about consensus building and how do you define consensus building and what does that look like? How do you agree upon what consensus is how it's going to be demonstrated? And so there are specific sections within our guiding document that talks about the need to, when you're about to make a decision that might be a little contentious, that you kind of set the parameters for what consensus building looks like, how it's defined, and how ultimately, what we communicate to folks is this notion of we want to hear voice, we want to have stakeholder input, and we want everyone to feel like that they had their opportunity to share their perspective, but in the end, they have to be able to say, I voiced my point of view. This might not be the decision that I want, but I am going to uphold that decision. I made my voice known. That was, broadcast and shared, but in the end, I can live with the decision because of these reasons. I'm on this team, and that's kind of how we define consensus building.
Can I add to that as well?
Yes.
So I think the other piece about our core that's a great example is that started at the district level with District Curriculum Council, right? So the idea that if I'm sitting in a school level as a teacher, I have some confidence because of this work and how things have been communicated that there was a group of representatives who represented me who were on the first end of researching and studying and selecting that resource. So I think that's a first level. I think then when it gets down to implementation, there's a lot of examples that schools could share around even some of the how that might get contentious and where with using shared decision-making and some of the protocols and pieces within that document, it might be how are the coaching visits going to look, and will we use our planning time, or will we, there's different sort of decisions that they might sort of navigate or negotiate a bit at the school level to make it work better for that particular school. But there's still the non-negotiable is we're implementing this. So that's one example. But I think we're living it right now with our core, because while last year we did it with some, now it's full implementation. So, and I think we talked about this summer, we're going to feel some of those growing pains, because not only is not everybody happy, but everyone's teams aren't as sort of fluid and adept at that shared decision-making process, which is there's like good practice going on right now, and why we continue to make it a priority. It's not done.
Any other questions? Thank you all.
Thank you.
Moving on to 5.01, can I Sonny move the reporting of professional service contracts greater than $50,000 for the 24-25 school year to the table, please? Moved by Vice President Malloy, or Vice President Farmer, sorry. Second by Mr. Stetzel. And we'll start with Mrs. Farah on this one.
Do we have time to ask questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, yep, I forgot that, yep, go ahead.
Let me turn that on for just quick question, just to clarify things. I see that there are a lot of contracts. What is the need for the nursing services that we're looking for? We're doing nursing needs for non-public schools, nursing needs for Greece public schools. There's a lot. Where are we looking to go with all of this?
I can start. WorkFit Medical is a temporary agency that we get our nurses through. Even for the privates and the charters, we provide those services to them. We're short-staffed, so we go there to fill that need until we can get fully staffed on our nursing staff.
Okay, perfect.
So we have to, by law, provide those.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Ms. Farah?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
I'm asked that passes 8-0. Moving on to 5.02, the real property tax law, section 487. Can I have somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Stenzel, seconded by Vice President Farmer. Any comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Ms. Lake.
Yes.
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 You.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm asked that passes 8-0. Moving on to 5.03, the transportation warehouse floor claim approval. Can I somebody move that to the table, please? Moved by Ms. Millar, seconded by Mr. Monagorio. Any comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Mr. Stetzel.
Yes.
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 And yes, that passes 8-0. Moving on to 6.01, quarterly reporting of service contracts between 20 and 50,000. This is rent information only. Does anybody have any questions on these? All right, moving on to 6.02, anticipated bids. Does anybody have any question on those? And moving on to 6.03, the budget and revenue status report. Does anybody have any question on that? All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I have somebody move the consent agenda to the table, please? Moved by Mr. Loney, seconded by Mr. Stenzel. Is there any comments, questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, we'll start with Ms. Millar.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Let me ask that passes 8-0. Mr. Maloney.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Monagorio. That was great. Thank you. All those in favor? That passes 8-0. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.